Alright, what I'm playing with here is the possibility of just putting a hole in the lower arm there, kind of like it had factory. The factory one was way over in the middle and wouldn't have done very well at all. But what I'm thinking about doing here is, you can see there's a slight, I've got that at a bit of an angle and a bit of an angle back in order to get it to sit there. Now with urethane bushings, I don't know that I would want it, I'd want everything as parallel as possible, but if I'm going to go ahead and use rubber bushings that'll absorb some of the angle difference and stuff like that, I wonder if I could just use the hole there, and then basically, let's take that out of there. This is the factory one that came off the 521, so you can see if it goes down to about, well, that level there, that puts me pretty darn close to where I need to be. Basically, it's a matter of, I'm going to have to drill a hole in order to test it. And I believe, let's look at this one here real quick. I believe that there's enough space. I don't know if I can make all this happen at one time. So if that's on that plate, the screw is not, the nut's not all the way down. It would be somewhere around there. So I think height-wise, now all this is upside down, but so I think once I drill the hole, I'll have enough clearance underneath there. Yeah, as you can see, the other hole is right there. There's definitely more clearance here. Nothing underneath and that stuff. You can easily get a wrench on it and that stuff. But somewhere back, right about where my finger is where the other would be. And that should be, yeah, that should have enough space. Only one way to find out. That arm is already, the one that's I'm using right now is already toast anyway, so I think I'll drill a hole and give it a try. It would save having to make another bracket is what it would do. It would also save the cost of having to do all new end links. Basically, you would just reuse your factory end link. Alright, I got to looking at it a little closer here, and I drew a circle right here already with this at right height, basically, and the sway bar is going to be up closer to there. But the reality is, now that I'm looking at it more, it stays flat enough. So I'm thinking right where that line is, it stays in better alignment. You know, when it's all the way up here, straight up and down, it'll stay a whole lot closer. And putting it in right about there, angle-wise, I think that should work just fine. And then I don't have the grief with the bracket and that stuff hitting the ball joint and that stuff. It'll just be the end link. So I think I'll move some stuff out of the way and get a drill in there. Hopefully that came out on the video. Alright, I drilled the hole in there, and the bolt that holds the plate down here for the TC rod mount is right there in the way. Now if that TC rod mount is welded on, it won't be an issue. But if it stays bolted on, it will be. Good chance it'll be welded on. The other thing too is you can see that that's at pretty darn good angle there compared to, oh man, I'm getting tired of bending over and picking stuff up. Wish I'd quit dropping it. Okay, so back here you get a idea there. You know, it's trying to get up to the sway bar, so that is a pretty good angle there that it's going to have to squish in at. Now this is with it dropped all the way down to its lower limit, so at ride height it wouldn't be quite that accentuated. In urethane that would definitely be a problem, but in rubber, maybe not. with the bolt being down there, I've got to kind of think about that a little bit and decide if I really want to make it a bolt-on for the arm, because I don't want to have to make multiple arms. So if that's a bolt-on, then that leaves it to where the stock, the thick TC rod for this arm could be used if the end user, whatever, wants to mount a new front mount on here. And if they mount the new front mount on there, then that would work out perfect. Which means then the bolt would be in the way of the sway bar. So obviously I'm kind of thinking out loud here. So I think it might behoove me to have a bracket on top to hold the sway bar instead of welding the TC plate on the bottom, because then that opens up a second option. Yep, okay, well, that's a scrap arm anyway, so I don't care about the hole. Yeah, I think I'll go back to fabricating a mount. Okay, well, I got the mount in. It's a piece of 2-inch square, 1/4-inch wall tubing. And basically right now it's connected with the stock end link. Normally the stock end link would be, the sway bar would be down around here somewhere. It's been lifted roughly 1.5 inches from what it would be because of the bracket. Now it could be shortened up a bit, but I figured I'd start with this and then see about going shorter. I did have a shorter bolt in there. In fact, actually, I had that bolt. No, I didn't try that bolt. It was another one. Anyway, okay, so let's see if we can run it through the articulation here. And let's see. Yeah, okay, that stays in the frame. Okay, so you might not be able to quite see the angle. This picks up a pretty good angle here, getting up to the top. Now, clearance-wise, at the top, plenty of clearance going either way, okay? Then when we, I gotta lift it up to go down. When we go down, that's against the steering stop. Not much of an angle here at all the way down. In fact, it is basically at perfect position down, okay? This doesn't change the position at all, but there's clearance this time now with the shorter sway bar mount. So everything clears there fine. That goes up against the steering stop, and everything's good, nothing's touching. So then we go back up, go over this way, and put it roughly about the same dimension. We're no longer hitting here because of the repositioning of the stop and the fact it's a little bit shorter, or the standoff rather, the mount. And we've got plenty of room right here, and that was where the issue was before. So I could shorten up that bolt. 3/4 of an inch, maybe 1/2 inch, 3/4 of an inch, but I kind of like the fact that it works with the stock end link. That means that somebody putting these arms on their truck could just simply mount the stock end link. When it's in the down position like that, I really like the alignment. Everything looks okay in that stuff. Stock position, it's back, leaning to the back just a little bit. Let's see if I can, alright, see that? And so when it goes all the way to the top, that gets kind of extreme. Okay. The mount is just a real simple box tubing mount. Now, if the mount didn't have this wall, but had a wall on the backside here, then the hole could be moved out that way. The whole thing could be pushed forward on the arm just a little bit, and that might just be the ticket. I basically needed to get figure out length and height and stuff like that. So we'll see if I try another mount. Let me come at it from the front here. Angle wise, that's not too bad there either. So the only angle that's even slightly out of whack is the the back. And so I got to kind of weigh that against trying to make a fancy mount to move that forward a little bit, or just go with that mount, let the rubber absorb it, and call it good.